So in the last video, I talked about how there's a definite connection to the Knicks with the 9 of 23 stuff. So I thought, Pope Francis went to the White House in Washington, D.C. Then he went to New York, so it ties into the Knicks. And then also Philadelphia, so the 76ers. And they have connections to the Warriors and whatnot. So I thought, all right, let's look at Washington Wizards and see if they have anything significant about them with this season. There's probably more. I just kind of skimmed through it a little bit. Anyway, I went back and looked then at the Warriors or the Wizards schedule. The Warriors don't even play the Wizards this year, but the Wizards played the Cavs 4 times. The first time they played the Cavs was on 12-1. Interesting. 12-1 Warriors equals 121. Similar to 12-1, just like Revelation. Philadelphia's in the book of Revelation. Golden State equals 122. Pope Francis equals 122. It all ties in together. Also, the Wizards lost to the Lakers the next night on 12-2, which is similar to 122. Just interesting. They even lost and the Lakers scored 108 points. Golden State Warriors equals 108. The total score was even 212 though. So interesting, once again, the 12 and 21 mirrors. 212 is the day that 212 is the day that Abraham Lincoln was born, the 43rd day of the year. Also the day before that, I guess, was the 76ers beat the Lakers, and the 76ers had previously not won a game last season, setting the record for the worst NBA start or whatever. Anyway, the game with the Cavs on 12-1, it was the Wizards' 15th game of the season, and the next time that they played the Cavs was on 1-6. The Cavs won with 121 points. So interesting, they play on 12-1. Then the next game the Cavs beat them, scoring 121 points. And the Wizards lost, keeping their 15 wins. So the Wizards lost their 15th game on 12-1, and then they lost again, keeping 15 wins, losing by 121. Also interesting, if you go from December 1st to January 6th, it's a span of 1 month, 5 days, similar to 15. Or also 5 weeks, 1 day, similar to 51, the mirror of 15. Remember, Cleveland hasn't won a sports championship in 51 years. LeBron James equals 51. Cleveland equals 51. Cleveland Cavs equals 51. It's also 36 days. The 36th prime number is 151. The mirrors. The third time that the Wizards and the Cavs played was on 2/28. A super significant number to the royal family and also the Cleveland Cavaliers. Also, if you go from that first game to their third game they played each other, it's a span of 89 days. Also 2 months, 27 days to 2/28, which is interesting because I just talked about how the Warriors are connected to 2/27 with pi, also 2/27, the 49th prime Warriors equals 49. Queen Elizabeth is 89 years old this year. Her name in gematria equals 168, just like if you write out Cleveland Cavaliers. King James is LeBron James' nickname, also the guy who wrote the Bible. King James equals 89 in gematria. What also sticks out in that game is that the score was 113-99. Cleveland won 113-99. The 113 I've been talking about being a good thing for the Warriors. Also, the total score was 212, which just reminds me of this game again, the 212, the 12-21 mirrors. The 99 of that score, also interesting. I've seen this number a lot around the Warriors. I've talked about it in regards to the assassination of Lincoln and Obama. But the Warriors won the finals on 6/16 last year, 99 days before 9/23. I mean, I really have shown a whole bunch of other stuff with 99. Seems super significant. 9/23, even the day with 99 days left until the end of the year. Last year, the Warriors lost to the Cavs 110-99 on 2/26. It was 98 days before the NBA Finals, where Game 1 went to overtime when the score was 98-98. But just interesting, the Warriors lost with 99 points. Also interesting to point out, they lost by 11, which I've talked about over and over, how 11 seems to be a super awesome number. So the Lakers were even up by 11 at halftime against the Warriors when they beat them. The last time that the Cavs played the Wizards this year was on 3-4. I mean, that number is just connected to this 923 in regards to the Knicks and whatnot. So LeBron shot 9 of 23 against the Knicks on 11-4, 34 games before they lost to the Warriors on January 18th by 34. Then 34 games after this game, they play the Knicks again on 3/26. So just interesting, the 3-4 stuff. The last time they played the Warriors, or the Cavs played the Wizards, the W's are throwing me off. The Cavs played the Wizards on 3/4 of this year. And the Wizards lost the Cavs scored 108 points in that game on them, just like Golden State Warriors. I think I messed this one up too. I have these as the Washington Wizards, not the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think I said that Cleveland won this game or lost this game. But whatever, you get the idea. The numbers are still the same. I just said that the different team had won. But this was the Wizards deal here. So the Wizards versus Cleveland, 108-83, they lost. So anyway, in one of the videos a while back, Zach talked about how they had this headline when the Bucks beat the Warriors, it's over. The Bucks won 108-95. And the reason he brought this back up was because of the Lakers playing the Cavs for the 108th time ever. The score was even 120-108. The Lakers lost with 108 points. Anyway, it's over equals 108, just like Golden State Warriors. The Warriors lost to the Bucks 108-95. But last year in the NBA Finals, the Warriors won Game 1, the one that went to overtime. The Warriors won 108-100. So what exactly that means, I'm not sure. Just interesting though. Definitely the 108 connected to the Warriors. Also, if you go 108 days after the Warriors lost to the Bucks, their first loss of the season, it's 3/29. The 9/23 backwards. It's also normally the 88th day of the year, but this year it's the 89th day. I talked about Queen Elizabeth being tied to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Even the royal family in general, the Cavaliers a Cavalier is a royalist supporter of King Charles in the English Civil War. If Queen Elizabeth dies, the next king will be King Charles III. So interesting. But anyway, Queen Elizabeth, 89 years old, 3/29, the 89th day of the year. So anyway, 89 days is also 2 months, 28 days most of the time, except for February, which kind of throws it off a little bit because of the shorter month. Also because of the leap year this year. But just interesting, 2 months, 28 days, also connected to 89. I've also mentioned how 9/23 and 9/19 are connected to this 6/26. The YouTube agents keep showing me this date for whatever the reason. I've seen it over and over and over. But if you go from 3/29 to 6/26, it's a span of 89 days, or also 2 months, 28 days. If you go from 6/26 to 9/23, it's the same. So 6/26 is the halfway point between the mirrors, 9/23 and 3/29. So hopefully that makes sense. I wrote in here, it seems fitting for LeBron and the Cavs to win, but also Michael Jordan upset the 1989 Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round of the playoffs with the shot over Craig Ehlo. Craig Ehlo equals 51 in Gematria. Also, the word death in English Gematria equals 228. But LeBron is also the only player on either one of these teams to shoot 9 of 23 so far this year. I know there's still a few games to come, so maybe something will happen. But it just really seems like it's a definite, it's for sure going to be the Warriors and the Cavs rematch. If it's not, I'll be very surprised. If the Warriors somehow don't make it, I just have a good feeling that Klay Thompson is going to get hurt or something significant with him when they lose, because his full name adds up to 91, a number I've seen with death and elimination. So who knows, just showing some more coding. This 9 of 23 stuff is super loaded. There's a lot of connections. It'll probably make a lot more sense. I'll just leave a link to the blog. You can come read the blog and kind of register it in your brain yourself. I didn't make these videos when I should have, when I was all prepared for them and everything. I'm just kind of reading through, and I have to actually think about what I'm talking about. So one last thing on here I wrote was that LeBron's 9 of 23 game on 11/4 was also 9 months, 23 days before 8/27. That's the day that Olivia Munn said the robots would take over. Also, Draymond Green the day before Olivia Munn said that, had also said, I am not a robot. I am not a robot equals 53 and 143. Draymond Green in gematria equals 143. Tons of other stuff. Made a whole other video on that if you want to check it out, or check it out on this blog here. Also, that day is Obama's 7th year, 7th month, and 7th day as president. So, whatever, going to end it there. Just tried to build it up here. I made this one last night, so I actually know what I'm talking about here, but there's only been 8 players so far this year who have shot 9 of 23. A lot of interesting connections. A lot of stuff that goes back to the Orlando Magic. So, anyway, see you in the next video. Have a good one.